Hello everyone, starting with today's lecture. In previous lecture, we completed aphorism number 155 to 161, and these are related to mainly the homeopathic aggravation. And in this, we mainly study what is mean by homeopathic aggravation, and after this, the main difference between the homeopathic aggravation, medicinal aggravation, and disease aggravation. So in this, we mainly study the homeopathic aggravation means it is the short, sharp aggravation of the existing symptom of a patient after the application of a well selected medicine. That we call it as a homeopathic aggravation. Then medicinal aggravation means after application of a homeopathic medicine, new symptoms appear in addition to the existing suffering of the patient. This condition called as a medicinal aggravation. And the third one that we studied, that is disease aggravation. And disease aggravation means the disease will go on progressing following its own course despite application of medicine. So that we call it as a disease aggravation. So in this way we completed aphorism number 155 to 161, that is about mainly related to the homeopathic aggravation. Now in today's lecture we are going to start with aphorism number 162 to 170, that are related to the management of cases of partially similar remedies. It is a management of cases with partially similar remedies. In that case, if the medicine is partially similar, how we can manage the case that are related to these aphorisms, that is aphorism number 162 to 171, that are related to the management of cases with partially similar remedies, that is 162 to 171. And after 172, that is starting of one-sided diseases. So this group of aphorisms, that is aphorism number 162 to 171, these aphorisms are related to the management of cases with partially similar remedies. And in this, it is due to either due to the lack of complete symptom in deceased individuals or due to paucity of records of drug proving in the homeopathic materia medica. That is management of cases with partially similar remedies either due to lack of complete symptom in deceased individuals or due to paucity of records of drug proving in the homeopathic materia medica. That is, it may be related to the individual that we record the symptoms, and it may be related to the drug proving that we done on individuals and record the symptoms in materia medica. So this is due to the lack of complete symptoms in deceased individuals or due to the paucity of records of drug proving in the homeopathic materia medica. So these aphorisms are related to management of cases with partially similar remedies. So in this, first we will see what is given in each aphorism, that is aphorism number 162 to 171. So in this, in 162 they related to the partial selection of simillimum. Then in 163 it is related to appearance of accessory symptoms. Aphorism number 164, it is related to few rare similar symptoms and their cure. Then 165, it is related to unhomeopathic medicine. 166, it is related to rare use of selection of unhomeopathic medicine. 167, it is related to wrong selection, wrong in selection, acute disease, antidote. Then in aphorism number 168, it is related to follow-up. 179, it is related to analogous medicines. Then 170, it is also related to the follow-up of a case. And 171, this is related to the use of antisoric medicines in these partially similar remedies. So these are the aphorisms that are related to the management of cases with partially similar remedies. So one by one we will see what is given in each aphorism. So prior to this, first we will discuss the points that are given in the uh, that is BK Sarkar. what is the points given in BK Sarkar related to aphorism number 162 to 171. So in this they gave the different points regarding the management of cases with partially similar remedies. So in this they first discuss about the first point, that is this is due to the shortage of positive drug effects recorded in the homeopathic materia medica. The drug which covers the majority portion of the symptoms complex in the patient is to be applied for lack of simillimum. So what is the first point regarding the management of partially similar remedies? That is, it is due to the shortage of positive drug effects recorded in the homeopathic materia medica. The drug which covers the majority portion of the symptoms complex in the patient is to be applied for the lack of simillimum. So there is a lack of simillimum in our materia medica, or there is a lack of or a shortage of positive drug effects that is recorded in a materia medica. So this is one of the reason that may cause the partially similar remedies that we have to apply for the patients. That is, the drug which covers the majority of the portion of symptoms that is complex in the patient is to be applied for the lack of simillimum. Then the second point discussed in this, that is, with the appearance of accessory symptoms in the patients after administration of a partially similar remedy, a considerable part of the original disease is removed by the said drug, and when the dose of a medicine is sufficiently minute, the necessary symptoms are also moderate and do not prevent the commencement of eventual cure. So this is regarding second point, that is after prescribing the partial similar remedy, it covers the symptoms which are similar to the disease condition, but the accessory symptom is, that is, the symptoms related to the medicines, that is extra symptoms that are related to the medicine that appears in a patient, that we call it as a accessory symptoms. And with that appearance of accessory symptom in the patient after administration of a partially similar remedy, a considerable part of original disease removed by the said drug, that is, a considerable part gets removed when the dose of a medicine is sufficiently minute. The necessary symptoms are also moderate and do not prevent the commencement of eventual cure. That is, if we give the medicine in a minute doses, it cannot show that much frequency of that accessory symptoms, but we increase the potency of that medicine and give to the patients, or given in a larger doses, that may show the accessory symptoms more frequently. And this may happen when we select the partially similar medicines to the patient, that is appearance of an accessory symptom. This is the second point. Then the third point is, if the few symptoms covered by the partially similar drug comprise the symptoms uncommon and peculiar to the disease in question, the cure takes place under the such circumstances without any particular disturbances. So what is explaining in this? If the few symptoms covered by the partially similar drug comprise the symptom uncommon and peculiar to the disease in the question, the cure takes place under such circumstances without any particular disturbances. That is, when we select the partially similar medicine, and that partially similar medicine having that symptom which are uncommon or peculiar in a patient that covered the symptom by that partially similar medicine, in that case the cure can take place without much disturbances to the patient, that it covers the symptoms which are characteristics peculiar uncommon in the patient. And it is because of the fact that even a single symptom observed is complete with regard to its location, sensation, modality and concomitant factors, gives us a totality of the case which always indicates the individual patient as a whole. Or why this happens, that is, if we have a symptoms, that is a complete symptom in a patient, and that complete symptom can cover the totality of that patient, that is, it can cover its location, sensation, modality, concomitant factors gives us the totality of the case, which always indicates the individual patient as a whole. That is, it indicates as a individual patient as a whole. So in this way it covers the whole totality, and in this way it cures the patient, as we give the partially similar medicine also if the partially similar medicines cover the symptoms which are uncommon, peculiar or characteristic to that patient. So this is the third point regarding the partially similar medicine. Then the fourth point is, if those few symptoms covered by partially similar remedy comprise only common symptoms, that is headache, diarrhea, debility, etc., the cure is not ensured as there is no change of utilizing the patient or the drug. But if that partially similar medicine covers the common symptom in a patient, so which are the common symptom in a patient? That is every most of the patient having, that is symptom of headache, diarrhea, debility, and these common symptoms if covered by this partially similar medicine, the cure is not ensured. That is, we cannot say that there must be a cure of a patient, that is cure is not ensured as there is no change in the individualizing the patient or the drug. So this may be the fourth point regarding the partial similar medicine. So up till now you understand what are the different points that is discussed in BK Sarkar regarding the management of partially similar medicine. Yes, understand first point, second, third, fourth, or you want to repeat any point? All of you? Yes, all of you understanding? Okay. Anyone want to ask or repeat any point? Okay, hope all of you understanding. So these are fourth point. Then fifth point regarding such a case as mentioned above is getting rarer as the collection of a well proved increases in a course of time. That is, such a case as mentioned above, that is getting rare as the collection of well proved increases in course of time. That is, this partially similar medicine which covers the common symptom, this is rare as there is a collection of well proved increases in course of time. So this is the fifth point regarding the partially similar medicine. Then sixth point is, in acute case when the more violent accessory symptom appear after the administration partially similar remedy, the first dose is not allowed to exhaust its action, or the patient is not left at the mercy of this drug, and the case is studied afresh in the subsequent altered condition comprising the accessory symptom along with residing features of the original symptom, and a drug homeopathic to the totality of symptoms then present is prescribed. So what is done in acute case when we prescribe a partial similar medicines to the acute case, and when we prescribe a partial similar medicine in acute case, and where when the more violent accessory symptoms appeared after the partially similar medicine, in that case the first dose is not allowed to exhaust its action, or the patient is not left at the mercy of this drug. So in that case, if there is a violent appearance of accessory symptom, in that case we cannot leave the patient at the or left the patient at the mercy of this drug. So in that case we have to retake the case as a fresh case, and we have to select the homeopathic drug which is most similar to that case by following the totality of symptoms of a present. What is the present totality is present at on that present totality you have to prescribe a similar medicine to that patient in acute cases, as we cannot left that patient on the mercy of this drug that is having a violent accessory symptom. So this is done in an acute case if we prescribe a acute medicine. Acute case we prescribe a partial similar medicine, and if patient having a violent accessory symptom, in that case you have to retake a fresh case and you have to select the medicine on a present totality and prescribe to the patient. Then the administration of a second drug will either bring above cure or bring it much nearer to its termination, in which case the patient will be restudied and more analogous remedy by selected and administered. If this drug be again found to be insufficient for bringing about perfect recovery, the examination of the remaining morbid condition and the selection of the most suitable homeopathic remedy should be repeated until full restoration of the health is effected. So up till now, when you select the second medicine for this case, if the patient having a violent accessory symptom and if you prescribe a second drug, and in that case also if this medicine is insufficient and also patient having a accessory symptom in that second medicine also, in that case you have to restudy the case and you have to select the medicine, that is you have to uh, re restudied and more analogous remedy selected and administered. So you have to restudy the case and reselect the medicine. Up till now you found a correct homeopathic or the most suitable homeopathic remedy should be repeated until the full restoration of health is effected. Up till now the full restoration of health is effected. Up till now you have to retake the case and reselect the medicine in that acute cases. So this is regarding the acute cases when you select a partial similar medicine in that cases. Then the next point is regarding in cases where a portion of symptoms seem to be covered by one drug and the rest of by another drug, and the choice of the drug simillimum becomes well high impossible. That is in cases where a portion of the symptoms seem to be covered by one drug and the rest of another drug, and the choice of a simillimum becomes well high impossible. The drug which is deemed to be more suitable of the two is administered first. It is not proper to administer the remedy of our second choice without restudying the case afresh, because it may no longer correspond to the symptoms remaining after the administration of the first remedy. It is advisable to find the most homeopathic drug for the subsequently altered state and of a symptom might be previously selected remedy of second choice still held good for the altered morbid state. Please don't write anything on a screen. So we are discussing the seventh point regarding the partial similar remedy. So in this what is given, that is if we have two medicines that are very similar to the case, and in that case we have to prescribe the first medicine and we see the effect, and after this we have to retake the case and after this we have to select the second medicine. So in that case if we select the two medicine at a time, it is not a homeopathic way of selection of remedy. So in that cases the medicine which is most similar at a time you have to select that medicine, and after the action of that medicine if symptoms remain you have to retake the case and you have to see the simillimum is present or not, as after prescribing the first remedy there may be a change in a symptomatology of a patient. So you have to retake the case, restudy the case, and on the basis of this you have to select the second remedy. So this is it is advisable to find the homeopathic drug for the subsequently altered state of symptoms might be the previously selected remedy of a second choice still held good for the altered morbid state, or the second remedy can be the choice of remedy as in the still held good for the altered morbid state of a patient. So this may be the choice of a remedy in a partial selected remedy. So this is regarding the management of cases with partial similar remedy, and in this, in aphorism number 171, it is also explained about the treatment of venereal chronic diseases, that is arising from psora or use of an antisoric remedy. And in this they explain about, that is, this type of disease is never cured completely with a single administration of a single remedy. The duration of choice of a chronic disease is indefinite and long-standing. Several antisoric medicines are to be administered in successions every successive on being homeopathically selected in accordance with the group of symptoms left uncured when the preceding remedy given in a single repeated doses has exhausted its action. So these are the different points that are explained in book of B.K. Sarkar related to aphorism number 162 to aphorism number 171. So all of you understand these different points regarding the management of cases with partial similar remedies, or any difficulty regarding these points? Yes, these are the main themes of these aphorisms. What are the aphorisms? That is 162 to 171. These are the theme of these aphorisms, these 7 points. So all of you understand these points. What is the management of cases with partially similar remedy? Are you listening? Yes, Yashwant. Abhishek. Abhishek Bagul. Amar Sheikh. Are you able to listen me? Amar. Yes, Mariam. Siddesh. All of you listening ना? नाहीतर मी बडबड करत बसेल, तुम्ही झोपी जाल झूम ऑन करून. All of you understand these points? So okay, we will start with aphorisms. So in this aphorism number 162. So first I will read the aphorism. Sometimes happens, owing to the moderate number of medicines yet known with respect to their true pure action, that but a portion of the symptoms of the disease under treatment are to be met with in the list of symptoms of the most appropriate medicine. Consequently, this imperfect medicinal morphic agent must be employed for lack of a more perfect one. So, this is regarding the first point which we discussed from BK Sarkar, that is, due to the shortage of positive effects of drug recorded in the homeopathic materia medica, that is, there is a shortage of recording of positive effects of drug that are recorded in materia medica. The drug which covers the majority portion of the symptoms complex in the patient is to be applied for the lack of simillimum. That is, they said that there is a imperfect selection of simillimum, or this imperfect selection, why there is a imperfect selection of simillimum, this is due to the, that is, owing to the moderate number of medicine yet known with respect to their true pure action, but a portion of the symptoms of a disease under the treatment are to be met with a in the list of symptoms of the most appropriate medicines. That is, the number of medicine, we are lacking in that number of medicine also, and we are lacking in the positive effect of that medicine also, that cover the totality of a disease condition also. So in that case they also explain as there is an imperfect selection of simillimum. So why there is an imperfect selection of simillimum, this is due to the lack of knowledge of medicine also, and due to the lack of knowledge of disease also. And in this knowledge of medicine means, if the physician is not having knowledge of all the medicine which proved, yes, if the physician is not having knowledge of all the medicine which proved till date and all the pathogenetic effect of all the proved medicine, there is a chance of imperfect selection of simillimum. So why there is a imperfect selection of simillimum, or why there is a partial similar medicine selection? So in that case there is a imperfect selection due to the two causes, that is, due to the lack of knowledge of medicine, and second, lack of knowledge of disease. And in this, the lack of knowledge of medicine means, if the physician is not having of all the medicine which proved till date and all the pathogenetic effect or all the proved medicine, there is a chance of imperfect selection of simillimum. So this is due to the lack of knowledge of medicine. And second one, that is lack of knowledge of disease, it is due to the, that is, if the physician clearly pursue what is to be cured in disease and what is to say in each and every type of disease, physician can select an appropriate medicine. That is, if physician clearly pursues that what is to be cured in disease, that is to say, in each and every type of disease, physician can select an appropriate medicine. But if he is unable to pursue, then there is a chance of imperfect selection of simillimum. That is, if physician not pursue what is to be cured in disease, in that case he is unable to pursue, then there is a chance of imperfect selection of simillimum. And in such cases, portrait of medicine can't be matched with a portrait of disease, and physician has to select the imperfect medicine. So in that case, in such cases, the portrait of medicine cannot be matched with a portrait of disease, and the physician has to select the imperfect medicine or a partially similar medicine to that case. So these are the causes which are related to the imperfect selection of simillimum, that is explained in aphorism number 162. So this is all these aphorisms are short aphorisms and very simple aphorisms. That is, in this they explain about the imperfect selection of medicine or a selection of a partial similar medicine in aphorism number 162. So all of you understand aphorism number 162. Then we shift towards the next aphorism, that is aphorism number 163, and what it explained. First I will read the aphorism. In this case, we cannot indeed expect from this medicine a complete untroubled cure for During its use, some symptoms appear which were not previously observable in the disease. Accessory symptom of the not perfectly appropriate remedy. This does this does by no mean prevent a considerable part of a disease. The medicine from being eradicated by this sorry the symptoms of the disease that resemble those of the medicine from being eradicated by this medicine, thereby establishing a fair commencement of the cure. But still this does not take place without those accessory symptoms, which are however always moderate when the dose of the medicine is sufficiently minute. So what is explaining in these aphorisms that is related to the accessory symptom? That point, the second point which we discussed in BK Sarkar also, that is with the appearance of accessory symptom in the patient after administration of a partial similar remedy, a considerable part of a original disease is removed by the said drug, and when the dose of the medicine is sufficiently minute, the necessary symptoms are also moderate and do not prevent the commencement of that is eventual cure. So this is regarding the accessory symptom, and in this there is an appearance of accessory symptom when we select the partial similar remedy. That is, in this case we cannot indeed expect from the this medicine a complete untroubled cure. That is, when we select the partial similar remedy, in that case we cannot expect a complete or untroubled cure, as there is a during its use some symptoms appear, and that symptom we call it as an accessory symptom. And in those cases in which there is a selection of an imperfect medicine, we cannot expect an ideal cure, or that cure which takes place without any disturbances. And after selection of simillimum there is occurrence of new symptoms which are either symptom of medicine or symptoms of progress of natural disease. But if the selection of potency is minute appropriate one, there can be cure but with some disturbances of the patient. So this frequency of accessory symptom depends upon the dose of a selected medicine. That is, if we selected the minute dose of a medicine, in that case there will be not so much disturbances due to this accessory symptom in a case. But if the dose of a medicine is larger, in that case we have to face the more troublable accessory symptom. So this is explaining in this aphorism, that is aphorism number 163, that is appearance of accessory symptom in a case when we select a partial similar medicine, and if we give the minute doses, in that case we cannot suffer from that much disturbances due to this accessory symptom. But the dose of a medicine is large, in that case we have to suffer from a more accessory symptoms, and it is not expectable in a case. So this is aphorism number 163. Then we shift towards the next aphorism, that is, in this they also explain about the accessory symptom as, that is, Yes, are you listening?
Yes, ma'am.
So we started with aphorism number 163, and in this they explain about the accessory symptom. So in this, the symptoms appearing after the administration of a partial similimum, that we call it as an accessory symptom, and do not allow this first dose to exhaust its action, nor leave the patient to the full duration of the action of a remedy. In this, investigate a fresh case, investigate afresh the morbid state in its now altered condition, that is the remainder of the original symptom plus newly developed symptom. So this is regarding the management of accessory symptoms that we studied in acute diseases. So this is explained in aphorism number 163. Now we start with the next aphorism, that is aphorism number 164, and what it explains, that is the small number of homeopathic symptoms present in the best selected medicine is no obstacle to the cure in cases where these few medicinal symptoms are chiefly of an uncommon kind and such as are rare are peculiarly distinctive characteristic of the disease. The cure takes place under such circumstances without any particular disturbances. So this point also we discuss, that is the third point in BK Sarkar, that is if the few symptoms covered by the partial similar drug comprise the symptoms uncommon and peculiar to the disease in questions, the cure takes place under such circumstances without any particular disturbances. It is because of the fact that even a single symptom observed is complete with regard to its location, sensation, modality, and concomitants, gives us a totality of a case which always indicates the individual patient as a whole. So in this they explain as a when we select a homeopathic medicine, or if there is a small number of homeopathic symptoms present in a best selected medicine also, is no obstacles to the cure in case where the few medicinal symptoms are chiefly of an uncommon kind, that is these few symptoms which are similar to the patient, but these symptoms are characteristic, common, and peculiar to the patient. In that case, the cure takes place without any disturbances, as the symptoms which we cover, that is uncommon, peculiar, as a complete symptom, and that complete symptom having its location, sensation, modality, and concomitant, which covers the whole the totality of a patient. And due to this covering of a whole totality of a patient, these few symptoms which are characteristics can cure the patient without any disturbances, even if we select the partial similar remedy to that case. So this is explaining in aphorism number 164, that is the homeopathic symptoms of the medicines are those symptoms which are as good as or similar as the symptoms of a natural disease. So what is the homeopathic symptoms of a medicines are those symptoms which are as good as or similar as the symptoms of a natural disease. Suppose in a patient of asthma, there are hundreds of symptoms and arsenic album is the similimum. Those symptoms of arsenic album which are matched out of hundreds of symptoms of a patient of asthma, these are called as a homeopathic symptoms. In a case if few symptoms are there, but if there are they are characteristic, uncommon, peculiar, and for that if there is a proper matching of symptoms of medicine which are similar in character, in such a case cure takes place without any much disturbances. So in this they also explain the examples, that is regarding the similarity of a symptoms, that is what we call it as a homeopathic symptom of a medicines are those symptoms which are as good as similar to the symptoms of a natural disease. That is if these symptoms are similar to the natural disease, we call it as a homeopathic symptom. That is, for example, suppose in a patient of asthma there are 100 symptoms hundreds of symptoms and arsenic album is the simillimum. Those symptoms of arsenic album which are matched out of 100 symptoms of a patient of asthma, these are called as a homeopathic symptoms. That is, out of these 100 symptoms, those symptoms which are similar to that arsenic album or that are similar, that is hundreds of symptoms of a patient of asthma, these symptoms are, we call it as a homeopathic symptoms. So the symptoms which are similar to that disease condition, that we call it as a homeopathic symptoms. That is, means in that there must be a similarity. If there are 100 symptoms that present in a patient, but that symptom must be similar to that disease condition or that patient, then we call it as a homeopathic symptom. And in a case if few symptoms are there, but if they are characteristic, uncommon, peculiar, and for that if there is a proper matching of symptoms of a medicine which are similar in character, in such a case cure takes place without any much disturbances. So this is regarding the aphorism number 164. That is, if you have a few symptom similarity or a few symptoms, but that few symptoms are of characteristic nature that are similar to that patient or a disease condition of a patient, that few symptoms or a few similarity also cure the patient without much disturbances. So this is regarding the aphorism number 164. Now the next aphorism, that is aphorism number, in this they explain, that is in diagrammatic form, that is cure possible while treating with partial simillimum? So yeah, yes, what is the answer? Is cure possible while treating with partial simillimum? That is, answer is yes, but when, if those few symptoms are the characteristic of the disease, but that few symptoms must be a characteristic of the disease, in that case cure can be possible while treating with a partial simillimum. In that case, when we give the partial simillimum medicine, in that case cure is possible, but only when, if that few symptoms are the characteristic of the disease. So this is the theme of the aphorism number 164. That is, in diagrammatic form, is cure possible by partial simillimum? That is, answer is yes, but if those few symptoms are the characteristic of the disease. Then the next aphorism, aphorism number 165. So what it explains, that is, if however among the symptoms of the remedy selected there be none that accurately resemble the distinctive, characteristic, peculiar, uncommon symptom of the case of disease, and if the remedy correspond to the disease only in the general, vaguely described, undefinite state, nausea, debility, headache, and so forth, and if there be among the known medicines none more homeopathically appropriate, in that case the physician cannot promise himself if any immediate favorable result from the employment of this unhomeopathic medicine. So in this, if we give the medicine on similarity on a common symptom of a disease, that we call it as a unhomeopathic medicine. And this we also explain in the fourth point in BK Sarkar also, that is, if those few symptoms covered by partial similar remedy comprise only common symptoms, that is headache, diarrhea, debility, the cure is not ensured as there is no change in the individualization of the patient or a drug. So in that case, if these symptoms which are few symptoms which we select on a or a partial similar remedy which covers the few symptoms, but that few symptoms are common symptoms, in that case we cannot ensure the cure of the patient. If the symptoms are characteristic, we can ensure the cure of a patient, but that few symptoms are common symptoms, that like the headache, diarrhea, debility, in that case we cannot ensure the cure of the patient, as this is not the individualization of a drug also or the patient also. So in that case, the unhomeopathic medicine, that is explained in aphorism number 165. So what is the main theme that is of 165? That is unhomeopathic medicine. So in this, what is mean by homeopathic medicine and what is mean by unhomeopathic medicine? These two differences are explained. In this, homeopathic medicine means that is that medicine which is indicated by uncommon peculiar characteristic and guiding symptom of the patient. That is, if we select the medicine on the basis of uncommon peculiar characteristic symptom of a patient, that medicine we call it as a homeopathic medicine. And what is mean by unhomeopathic medicine? That is, in a case if there is absence of uncommon peculiar characteristic symptoms, on the contrary only common symptoms like weakness, nausea, headache, debility, body ache and loss of appetite etc. are there. If the medicine is selected on such common symptoms which is not correct one, is called as a unhomeopathic medicine. So if we select the medicine on these common symptoms and not on a uncommon peculiar characteristic symptom, that we call it as a unhomeopathic medicine. When we select the medicine on common symptoms only, in that case we call it as a unhomeopathic medicine. And if the medicine is selected on an uncommon peculiar characteristic symptom, that we call it as a homeopathic medicine. And what is mean by unhomeopathic medicine? The medicine which is selected only on a common symptoms like nausea, vomiting, headache, body ache, loss of appetite, that medicine we call it as a unhomeopathic medicine. And such cases we get in those patients which are incurable and where pathology is well developed or irreversible pathological changes had taken place. In such cases homeopathic physician can't expect favorable result. That is, where we prescribe the unhomeopathic medicine where there are irreversible pathological changes occurred or case is incurable. In that case we can select that unhomeopathic medicine for the relief of patients only. But in that case homeopathic physician can't expect a favorable result or cure. In that cases we only subside the symptom of a patient by giving this unhomeopathic medicine. So this is explaining in aphorism number 165. That is the basics of prescription, that is characteristic cure can be possible, but if there is a vague general indefinite symptoms, no immediate favorable result, remove only the part of a disease, retake the case, new totality, new remedy, go on until complete cure occurs. So when you have only the common symptoms, in that case there will be no immediate favorable result will found in that case, and you have remove only the part of a disease, means the symptom which are similar to that disease condition can only be removed from these medicines, and you have to retake the case and new totality have to form and new remedy have to select, and this can be done go on until complete cure can occurs. So this is regarding the basic prescriptions, or regarding the if there is a characteristic symptoms we call it as a selection of a homeopathic medicine, and in this case cure is possible. And in next second one, that is vague general indefinite symptoms or common symptoms, or we call it as a unhomeopathic medicines can be selected and cure is not possible in that cases. So this is regarding the aphorism number 165. So all of you understand aphorism number 165 162 to 165. So in this aphorism number 160 I will again summarize it. In aphorism number 162 we studied about, that is imperfect selection of simillimum, or there is a lack of knowledge of medicine or lack of knowledge of disease, and due to this in such cases portrait of medicine cannot be matched with a portrait of disease, and physician has to select the imperfect medicine in that case. Then in aphorism number 163 it is regarding the appearance of accessory symptoms, and if the dose is minute there will be cure without much disturbances, but if the dose is larger, in that case you have to suffer from that accessory symptoms, or you have to retake the case or reselect the medicine. Then in aphorism number 164 it is regarding the, that is if the selected medicines as a homeopathic medicines, or you have to select the medicine on a homeopathic symptoms if these symptoms are few, which are uncommon, characteristic, peculiar symptoms. These few symptoms also cure the patient without much disturbances. And in aphorism number 165, it is regarding the unhomeopathic medicines, as when we select the medicine on a common general symptoms, in that case there will be no possibility of cure, or you cannot ensure the cure in that cases. We call it as a selection of unhomeopathic medicine. And selection of unhomeopathic medicines can be done in a incurable cases, or where there is a irreversible pathological changes occurred in that patients. So in such cases homeopathic physician cannot expect favorable result from this unhomeopathic medicine. So all of you understand aphorism number 162 to 165, or any difficulty regarding these aphorisms? Yes, all of you understand?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So we will stop here. So I will ask questions to someone. I think I will ask questions to boys. Yes, we start with Bhavin. Yes, Bhavin, are you able to listen me? Yes, Bhavin. Bhavin. Then Shubham. Yes, Shubham. Boys left the meetings. Only 28 present now. Who is going to take attendance today? Yes. Who is going to take
Ma'am,
attendance?
me,
अंजली ना?
Anjali. Yes, ma'am.
आता बघ तू सेकंड ह्याला फक्त 28 जण आहेत, आणि क्वेश्चन विचारायचे
Okay,
म्हटलं की
ma'am.
पटपट लेफ्ट झालेत ते.
Ma'am, 36 होते.
हो, पण मी क्वेश्चन विचारते म्हटलं की लेफ्ट झाले ते.
Okay, ma'am.
तर सेकंड मीटिंगला हे 28च प्रेझेंट करायचे आता जे आहेत ते.
Okay, ma'am.
2 अटेंडन्स 2 मीटिंगच्या आहेत ना,
Hmm.
तर त्याच्यामध्ये 28 जणांनाच प्रेझेंट करायचं, बाकीच्यांना नाही.
ठीक है, ma'am.
बॉईज मध्ये फक्त मला स्वराज दिसतोय एक याच्यामध्ये, आणि यशवंत दिसतोय. हे समर 11 कोण आहे?
मॅम ते अभिजित फनारे वाटतं.
पूर्ण नाव का नाही टाकत? अभिजित समर 11. आवाज येतोय ना तुला माझा? शुभम येतोय का आवाज तुला?
Yes, ma'am.
आवाज येत नव्हता का शुभम तुला?
येतोय मॅम आवाज.
मी सगळ्या बॉयची नावं घेतली तर पटापट लेफ्ट का झाली? येस भाविन.
मॅम भावेंच्या इथे रेंज इश्यू आहे.
कुठे भाविनच्या इथं?
त्याच्या इथे वेटिंग दाखवतंय.
होता तो आधी लेफ्ट झाला परत वेटिंग दाखवतात.
हा वेटिंग दाखवतंय त्याला.
Okay, today first I will ask questions and then proceed. Okay.
ओके मॅम.
आणि जे आन्सर करतील त्यांचीच प्रेझेंटी लावणार आहे. नंतर जॉईन झालेल्यांची प्रेझेंटी लावणार नाही.